Okay, I'm going to do a quick build on these shocks. It's going to be a little difficult to see, but hopefully you'll get the gist of it. I used a 30 weight shock oil in the rear, and I used 42.5 in the front. So you start off, you take these little tiny O-rings, because eyesight isn't as good as it used to be. I'm actually using a daylight magnifier, because otherwise I wouldn't have a chance of seeing these. So we put the two little O-rings in, then you use your little retainer and just screw them in ever so lightly. I've actually taken this one apart, the shock apart, just so I can rebuild it and show you how it goes. But if you take a little tiny drop of oil, put that down inside and let that run into the hole. That then, when you put your little shock shaft in, you won't damage the seals. I haven't tightened this up because I don't want the O-rings squashed yet. You'll see the oil go into the bottom. If you then just put the shaft in and down to the bottom there, and then take your bottom collar, hold on to that. Now you can put a tiny bit of thread lock on there if you want. It will stop them falling off, but just for now I'll actually thread them on. There is a little slot, as you've probably seen, in the end of the shock shaft itself, so you can put a screwdriver down inside there and grab one of those. Put that down inside, and then you can actually tighten that up. There you go. So you put a tiny bit of thread lock on. Make sure you use the rubber one or you'll never get it off again. Right. These are a little bit different to normal shocks because you can't actually put the spring cap, retainer cap on afterwards when you put the spring on. So this one you'll have to fit the spring, and then if you just use the retainer clamp here, which has got a little tiny taper on it, shoulder, and that actually holds the spring in place. Go, just wind that on. Get that a reasonable way down. Okay, so that keeps that in place there now. And if you fill the shock up to the top, which is not going to take a lot of oil at all, there you go, just shy of the very top, and then grab your little diaphragm with the curvature coming up like this, and so the curvature goes down onto the oil side. Right. Now with most shocks, you'd have to bleed these off. In this case I've actually, because there's oil in there, I haven't got air bubbles inside, but normally just pump them up, wait till you see an air bubble, and let all the sort of air escape from that. Once that's done, then you put this on top like that, and then get your cap, put your cap on top and screw them down. When you get most of the way down, but not all the way, just push the shock shaft up a bit. This will displace excess oil, and then you can tighten this right down. At the same time then you can actually make sure that the bottom piece here is tight as well. That's it, that's them locked, and then there's your shock all built up. As you can see, it's got plenty of bounce in it, and it's damped nicely both ways. So, as I said in the previous part of this video, just make sure the screw that goes through the bottom eyelet allows this to actually waggle back and forth, and the same when you put it onto the tower, make sure that that will move back and forth. That'll just go on there. I've got to be fair, these are the smallest shocks I think I've ever built. And certainly not the easiest. If you've got little piggy fingers like me, this will be quite good test of patience. There you go. Got the tool there. Now to stop stop the bolt undoing, just put a screwdriver on the back and then just snip these up. There you go. See, I've got plenty of play there. Then we need to take this tiny little thing here, pop that in. Now the other thing to note is that the front shocks I've run on the outside holes. On the rear shocks I've actually run them on the inside hole at the top at the shock tower, and on the inside hole on the wishbone. See, now if you don't need a daylight magnifying light, you'll probably find this a fair bit easier. There you go, success at last. Same thing with this one. Make sure you leave enough gap so that it can move around quite happily, and you can see that was the setting I had before. Wind this down. There you go. If you want a bit more ride height, then just wind them down further. This hasn't got the battery in, so it is sitting a bit high at the moment. But as you can see now, when you drop them, they run quite nice. There you go. I hope this has been some help to you. They're not the easiest things to work on, but say if you go through this, then you'll have nice compliant shocks, and you'll find the car handles an awful lot better. This is Paul at Trackside Spares. Thank you very much.